I don't know about you, but I'm living on top of the world.
Greetings, everybody. This is Donna and I'm back with you with my review of Greenleaf Season 1, Episode 10, March to the Sea. Before I actually start my recap, I want to acknowledge some people, give some shout outs to 3 groups of people. First, I want to give a shout out to my faithful, and they are Angela Jackson, Wendy T, Eva Lois, Chanel Perry, and Shannon Radford. These are people who have subscribed to my vlog, and I just started vlogging with this episode, so I want to thank you guys for coming on board, subscribing, and liking my work. And I promise that in the near future you will get some more content from me, because we only have 3 more episodes of Greenleaf left, so, and then it's the end of the season. So I will be trying to look for other content and give you some additional information, that additional vlogs or videos that you may find inspirational. So thank you again for your support. And I also want to give a shout out to my Facebook Greenleaf discussion group members who have indulged me in various conversations about this new hit drama series Greenleaf, and we've shared theories and we have debated different issues among the characters, and they have welcomed me aboard and they have begun to support my vlogging, and I want to say shout out to you. And even though you're Watch Care members and you haven't subscribed to the channel, God loves you anyway, and I thank you for being a part of the discussion group and allowing me to be a part of your discussion group. And these members are Aretha Author, Deacon Walmack, Alicia Cooper, Kimberly Hooker, Stacy Bannister, Angela Young, Tumanova Morris, Zena Taylor, and Sherelle Lewis. Thank you very much for your participation. Thank you for engaging me. Hopefully you will like the review, you will subscribe. I encourage everyone who hasn't subscribed to please subscribe to the channel. Please vote on the different recaps. Please engage me in conversation either on this YouTube channel, or you can send me an email, dwblogger@yahoo.com. I also have a website called Not Church as Usual that has other content outside the Greenleaf vlogs or blogs. And my Twitter account is @Disciple Warrior. So I also have 2 celebrity shout outs that I want to do, and then I'll get started. The first celebrity shout out I want to do is for Greg Allen Williams, okay? And if you guys don't know the actor's name, you do know the character. He is Robert McCready, aka Creepy McCready, and he is following me, and he has you know, I engage him on Twitter when he's online, the nights that the show airs. And so he is I have enjoyed his acting performances for a very long time, and one of the Swedish roles he played was opposite of Lynn Thigpen on The District. He was her love interest in that, and he was so sweet and so kind, and it's just, I remember him so much from that, and he's playing total opposite role in this. So I just want to give him a shout out because he follows me on Twitter now. So thank you, and thank you for your support. And also Dewan Owens. Now, if you guys don't know his name as the actor's name, you do know his characters, because he plays on both Greenleaf and If Loving You Is Wrong. Now, on If Loving You Is Wrong, he plays Quan. And on Greenleaf, he plays Michael Carpenter. So he has not subscribed, or he doesn't follow me, but he likes every recap that I do. So I just want to give him a shout out as well. Alright, now I've done all my shout outs, got that out the way. Let me do my recap, okay? You know, it's funny because I think that, you know, a lot of churches, they always impress upon us that we should be sheep begetting sheep, and trying to continually bring people into the church, and, you know, encourage relationship and not religion and all that. But if Calvary Fellowship was our church, we'd have a hard way to go in convincing people to come to Calvary, because half of the congregation is a little skittish. I mean, they were already concerned about Marlon Collins shooting David Nelson, but now you got shooting inside the church, and then it's among church leadership. This is not good look. It's not good look at all. Anyway, so yeah, I really didn't believe that Bishop was going to shoot Robert. I thought, you know, Grace will make it there in time, or maybe there would be a struggle and the gun would just go off. I didn't think Robert was really going to get shot. So I was wrong, because the first thing we hear is the bullet shooting off, and you see Grace like, oh crap. And so she gets to the office. Sure enough, Robert's on the ground. He's bleeding. The bullet went through his chest, not his chest, but his shoulder, and it went straight through. So they're talking about, go get a first aid kit. We don't need an ambulance. We don't need the cops. We're going to work this out amongst ourselves. And Grace is like, heard this story 20 years ago. You didn't do anything about it then. I gave you 20 years. In fact, you had 20 years and 3 days. But you don't want to come up into this office with your gun and shoot him. We are not going to play this game. See, you had 20 years and 3 days. You opted not to wait 3 days. Now you done shot the man in the church. He's bleeding all over this carpet. He's got a passport and a ticket to Cuba. No, Daddy, we can't let this go now. As a result of her going ahead and calling the cops, apparently Grace has lost the favor that she had in her father, because now he wants something to do with her. He's excused her from the deacon board meeting when he gets out, and, you know, lets the deacon board know that he's still in control. He's still being cocky. But prior to them hauling him off to jail, prior to Grace calling, they didn't want to think it was odd. It was almost as if, you know, sometimes guys do this. They have a disagreement over a girl, over money, whatever the situation is. They get into a brawl. I mean, they fist fight, they fight it out. And after they beat each other to a pulp, they sit around, have a beer, laugh, joke, and everything is fine again. But this wasn't that type of situation. But you almost get the impression that, okay, I shot you, I avenged my daughter, we're good, you know, like, Bishop's like, we're going to work this out amongst ourselves. How were you going to work this out when, you know, it's not just faith, it's other people involved? And why are you so willing to not go to the cops? Like, I felt like they had a conversation that nobody else was aware they had. Why? I mean, both of them were in agreement with each other too. Like, they struck this deal. Like, I can understand Robert's like, no, we don't need to get the cops involved because he don't want to go to jail. I know he doesn't want to go to the hospital. Look, basically, if he could get his wound covered over enough so he could get out the country, that's what he was going to do. So I could understand it from creepy side. But from the bishop's side, okay, that makes me feel like Robert's got, He knows where all the dead bodies are. Like, what's going on with that? So anyway, later on, Lady Mae goes visit Robert in the hospital. And her goal is to go and forgive him for his sins, and so that she can be forgiven in heaven. But she's finding it difficult. She hates him for what he's done, for how he's destroyed her family. And, you know, but then after telling him this, she's going to say, please don't tell me you're going to drag us through court. And he's like, no. Basically, I'm going to meet with my lawyer to discuss terms, try to get minimal sentence, that type of thing. So he doesn't seem to be fighting it, and I wonder why, because it just seems too easy. He was like, I understand that basically his world is Lady Mae, Bishop, and the church. And maybe since that has been destroyed for him, he just doesn't care and he's given up. I don't know, but it just seems like you were able to take him down too easily. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts on that. Write in comments if you have any other theories about that. So, Charity's righteous indignation. Charity's... Alright, so Noah obviously forgot to contact at least one party about the wedding being canceled. And so Charity and Kevin are playing, you know, they're kind of entertaining the couple until the party gets started, and everybody's like, what's going on? And so this couple gets a text that the wedding had been canceled. And so Charity is literally the last person to know. And with that, she is going off on the family. Because, you know, she's been crying since episode 1 that, you know, she's not treated fairly. She, you know, is treated like a child and not as an adult. And so, you know, I told you all the good stuff goes on around the dinner table. Every time we get a dinner scene, there's going to be some drama. And sure enough, this episode doesn't disappoint. Here we have a family dinner without the bishop. And, you know, Charity got a bone to pick with the whole family. And she is just not having it. And she tells everybody off. Like, the only thing that I didn't agree with, though, is that she was telling Grace, if you had told me the reason why you were really here, I could have helped. But when Grace was just trying to support you in the first episode, you were like, I don't need you to be a team. I don't need you on my team. You know, stay out my business, Gigi. You know, just all this shade. And really, you two haven't talked since since the initial episode. We are on episode 10. How was she supposed to come to you with anything? Like, you would be the last person I would come to. Hello. But then she had everybody else pegged right, you know. And later on, you know, where Kevin is trying to applaud her efforts for really standing up for herself and saying, you know, kudos, you stood up to your mom and this, that, and other. Oh, she's like, oh, you like that? Well, how do you like this? And then she gives him an ultimatum. And, you know, it's like, if you don't tell me what's truly going on with you, and if you don't, you know, until you can tell me what's truly going on with you, you're out the bed. And if you don't tell me what's going on with you soon, you're out the house. So, like, she is not playing. Charity is like, look, I've had it. Enough is enough. And I have to applaud. She's doing what she needs to do. She's standing up. You know, last week she kind of got on my nerves with the whole, I'm scared that he's going to tell me the truth. So I like this empowered Charity that's like not taking any guff from anybody. But most of the discussion has been, when I asked the question, do you think she would be able to really handle the truth if she heard it from Kevin? If Kevin came out and told her, look, I'm sleeping with other men, would Charity be able to handle it? And the general consensus is that no, she wouldn't be able to handle it. That would just tear her up. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe these, you know, maybe we're seeing a new Charity Maybe she's pushing beyond the fear and say, you know, whatever it is, we either going to deal with it or we're not, you know. So that is that with that situation. Zora is just plain old disrespectful. Now, you know, Jacob has been a slacker and all this here, but now he is actually trying to be a dad. He's trying to be a good husband, and he reaches out to Zora, and he comes into her room, and she's talking about, you didn't knock, and she's got this major attitude, and I'm like, really? Really? Did you really go there with your father? Like, you don't pay a bill up in this house, okay, and you're going to talk like this? Now, we know that she's a Ritalin sniffing teenager, and maybe her real issue with him coming in the door without knocking is she don't want to get caught with her snorting habit. But whatever the case was, it was totally disrespectful. But do you see how him and Carissa are getting along? Ever since that episode where Greg was trying to be with his wife or have his wife be with Carissa, and he's like, no, I ain't going out like that. This is my wife. You know, ever since he said, I didn't say I was a perfect woman, I said you was mine. Ever since then, Carissa been like really sweet. Like, she usually really irritates me, but I got to say she's a sweeter, kinder, softer Carissa. So, you know, they're married people. They're doing what married people do. But maybe it was the lack of what was going on, because you got the impression that since he was fooling around with other women, that they weren't being intimate or having sex. And now that that's taking place, she is less uptight. It's just observation, just saying. Okay. Sophia's angry with Grace, and you kind of have to, I can kind of get it. I'm trying to look at it from both perspectives. Sophia's a teenager, and she is a follower, not a leader. Grace told her what she felt she needed to tell her in order for Sophia to keep her distance from Uncle Mac. However, you know, now that she's found all this out through Zora and not her mother, she's feeling some type of way. She's called her father. Now, Ray done came from Phoenix, Arizona, threatening to take Sophia back because Grace wasn't open with either one of them. And of course, if she was open with Ray, Ray would have been like, you're not taking my daughter to Memphis. And then, you know, she had told Ray when they first met and started dating or what have you, that this place was evil. So he's got all that in his mind. He's recalling these conversations. Now, within 2 weeks, there's been 2 shootings at this church. Okay, church is supposed to be a place of worship, not a place of violence. So, you know, you get the vibe from Ray that he's not really into, you know, religious practices or a relationship with God. And so when Sophia is interacting with him and conversing with him about how she feels the environment has been helpful to her spiritually, you know, and that she actually likes it better than Arizona, you know, he's conflicted, but of course he's concerned about his child. Now, from Grace's aspect of it, he's been an absentee father, and, you know, in her words, the trip going from Memphis back to Phoenix would be the longest amount of time that he spent with his daughter in 5 years. So, you know, with that situation, she may not have trusted, you know, Sophia staying with her father. But it is kind of dangerous for her to bring Sophia into a situation that now has gotten very volatile. So, and we can see that Ray's not really going to leave this alone. He is, the next episode, supposed to send her papers filing for custody. Anyhow, Isabel. Oh. Isabel works the nerve. You know, Isabel's been insecure from the first episode. And if Noah wasn't thinking about Grace, Isabel would say Grace's name enough to make him think and make him wonder. I mean, of course there was chemistry from the door, but that just could have been, you know, familiarity from 20 years ago and just a remembrance. But I think she helped push him to be with Grace. I mean, just by her insecurity alone, that's just not attractive. And then, okay, your fears are realized and you call off everything. All right, fine. Now you pull all your stuff out, you tell your mom what happened, and she's like, well, make sure you got everything so there's nothing for him to be over here fawning over you and all that. So she's supposed to have everything. But now she comes back and she's saying, you know, can we talk? So the bottom line of the conversation is that she's going to stay with her mother during the school break. And she doesn't want him to contact her at all. And he's like, I won't. And he's not doing the babies. He's not begging her to stay. He's not saying I'm sorry. He hasn't even acknowledged, yeah, you're right, I did do this and this is the reason why. He really isn't. He just lets her talk because he was asleep when he heard her enter his quarters. So, you know, she's like, and maybe after the break you can show me that you're the man that I thought you would be and truly be upright and show me that you truly love me and what have you. And the whole thing is that Noah's not really saying anything. And even though Noah tried to play like he was upset with Grace last week, I think Noah was just going on with emotions. Like, I don't get that he's really in love with Isabel. I get that he's in love with Grace. And, you know, Isabel's like, don't tell me whether or not you're in love with me or not, or in love with Grace or not, because you don't know yet. So now you want to dictate to him what he knows when he knows it. Okay. So then she kisses him and then she smacks him. I'm like, is this some bipolar stuff or what? Like, you break off the wedding engagement. Now you're saying, okay, what we have is too good to throw it all away. But don't contact me and I'll come back to you after spring break. And then you kiss him and then you smack him. Like, you're giving me all sense of crazy and Diop. I'm just saying. And Diop is the person that plays Isabel. She's giving me all sense of crazy. Like, so she's talking about maybe mending their relationship. But there would be nothing for me to mend. I mean, last week she was saying he was weak. So, like, why would you want to marry someone that you felt wasn't strong enough to not sleep with someone that he was in love with 20 years ago? Like, if you were really that insecure, you really thought you knew him like that, and that's not something that you can accept now and continue on with marrying him, then what's there to reconsider? What is there to mend? I mean, if you got comments regarding that, just put them below, because I'm not understanding that. Somebody can break that down for me. Please do so. Okay? And then, okay. I love Terry J. Vaughn. Okay? She is playing the head maid in the Greenleaf. I feel like that if any role was cast incorrectly, I feel like that was. Because her part is so minimal. And unless they're going to expand it later on somehow, I don't know. But does she not speak so loudly in silence? Like, Dave Wallace calls. He's a reporter from Memphis Daily News. And he's calling the Greenleaf Mansion to confirm his facts. And he tells her, look, you don't have to say anything. But if these things are in the affirmation, just stay on the phone. And she says, okay. That was her whole line throughout this whole thing. And so then later on, he calls Calvary and gets Lady May. And Lady May responds. And he says, look, I already have an independent source from the Greenleaf Mansion that have confirmed the facts for me. I'm just looking for a statement from you. And so, you know, we're like, really? So, of course, you know, Lady May is thinking that is Grace. I mean, because you know, Grace is behind everything that's not right. But that was this episode. And I do have 3 questions. And if you can comment below and let me know what you think. Okay, the first one is, why does Grace reject the calls and text messages from Mavis at the end of the episode? Is she just overwhelmed by the events of the day? Is she now mad at Mavis because, you know, here Mavis presents it as an opportunity to set things right and to get in good standings with her family, when now it would appear that her family hates her even more now for bringing out the truth? My second question: why did Bishop Greenleaf ask for Grace to wait because they could work things out without getting the police or authorities involved? Like, again, I come back to that because it just doesn't make sense. Somebody please explain it to me. My third and final question for this episode is, has the prodigal daughter become a fallen angel in Bishop's sight? Is this just something temporarily that he's mad at Grace about, or is he now joined Team Lady May and thinks that she's the devil's spawn? Now, a lot of people are saying that, you know, they believe that Grace doesn't even belong to Lady May. There's a couple of different theories out, and even though I have wondered, is Grace really Mavis's daughter that maybe Lady May agreed to raise? Maybe Bishop, when Bishop was stepping out on Lady May, because we know at one time he did, he stepped out with Mavis and Mavis had Grace. And, you know, they decided to raise Grace as their own. And that's why, you know, Mavis is not welcomed at the mansion. That's one theory. Or, you know, maybe Lady May stepped out on Bishop. Bishop forgave and was willing to, you know, accept Grace as his own, and, you know, therefore gives her all this extra attention. So tell me your thoughts on that. What is really going on? Like I said, I gave it a solid 8 because it was a good episode. It wasn't a bad episode, but still there's so many more questions that are out there now, rather than questions being answered. And I think at this point of the game, we need some more questions answered. And you can also unfold some new stuff, but we need some of the old stuff answered so we can say, oh, okay, and start making some real connections. We're getting little bits and pieces, but I don't think it's enough. So hopefully these last 3 episodes will give us what we've all been asking for. Or maybe they plan on, in the second season, kind of revisiting what happened 20 years ago and bringing us closer into what's been going on with the Greenleaf family. So those are my questions. Again, I want to thank everybody for their support. For those of you who have not subscribed, please, please, please subscribe. I am promising to come out with more content. We only have 3 episodes of Greenleaf left, and there will be other content on this site. But for all of those that have subscribed and those that support, whether we just talking to the discussion group or through Twitter or what have you, I just want to thank you for your support, and I hope that you will continue to support me. But until our very next episode, bye now.